Welcome along to the Sparrow Diaries podcast. If you're back for more, or if it's your first time listening, cheers for filling your ear holes.
We are two Kiwi mermaids chatting about ocean adventures and spearfishing.
In this episode, we get to know a knowledgeable Kiwi businesswoman.
She created her product and own brand from scratch after seeing a real gap in the market.
Which was to have a lube for diving suits that was good for the ocean and good for humans.
So sit back and enjoy our chat with Kat.
Yeah. Okay, so tonight we welcome our first online guest. We have got passionate seaweed restoration human, Octacle suit lube creator, ocean lover, forager, and Sparrow wahine, Kat Greager. Welcome. Welcome to Sparrow Diaries.
Hey, how's it going? Nice to be here. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, we've obviously not met you in real life, but it's great to see you on screen. And we've both seen your awesome Octacle suit lube pretty much like for as long as we've both been diving. So to find out that it was made in New Zealand and then, connect with you, we were both pretty excited. And we've, seen your profile and got really interested in you showcasing all your seaweed foraging and your water wahine adventures in Wellington and all of that kind of stuff. But we also had a number of people recommend, as soon as we put out the word to our original listeners, who should we interview? Your name came up numerous times. So we were like, we've got to get this gal on here for a chat. And we're really excited that we finally found a time for all three of us to be online together.
Great.
Yeah, definitely. Appreciate you being here. Okay, so Kat, we're going to pretty much jump straight into our questions for tonight. The first one is there a specific memory in the ocean that has impacted you or your life?
Wow. I mean, I grew up in the ocean. I did a lot of snorkeling and surfing when I was little. Even pictures I find in my mum's albums of me, 6, 7 years old on a surfboard. Not that I was very good at it, but, I just kind of grew up in the ocean. So it's always been a really big part of me. And, I mean, a specific memory in the ocean, there's just so many, it's just, yeah. So no, I know.
Yeah. I guess the question kind of is more like is there a time, like a particular day or a dive or a surf that just captured you and you're like, oh, I love this, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, so when I was young, actually, there was a day that I surfed. It was a boogie board actually, and I remember screaming because the wave was so massive, and it came over me into a big tube. And I screamed, and I could hear the scream going all the way down this tube. And I mean, over in Australia, the waves can get pretty big. And I just remember that. I remember it so vividly, So that was one pretty big moment. And snorkeling wise, I remember seeing a wobbegong shark with my dad. We were out, sort of north of Sydney there. And I was just like, far out, there's a massive, well, to me it was massive. It probably isn't massive now. It was probably only about 4 foot long.
Probably was.
But, wobbegong shark, it's a pretty crazy looking thing in the water. So yeah, from a young age, those were those memories. But I've had so many cool memories since I've been doing freediving and spearfishing in a different way, not memories as a kid, but I could list heaps.
Yeah. Oh, that's the beauty of it, because it kind of gets you thinking about all those special moments and times that just make you do what you want to do, Yeah, like some of my ocean memories are, as well, surfing and just having an incredible sunset and the water all around me, reflecting the sunset, and you just feel like you're a part of it. Like it's different memories and moments that you capture that you're like, oh, this is why I love the ocean,
Yeah,
it doesn't just have to be a big old fish that you shot.
No, and I think that's the thing for me. I love being in the ocean, and yes, there's the shooting the fish and the collecting kaimoana and stuff, but that feeling of being amongst it and in it is just so magical, and that's what really feeds my soul, whether I shoot a fish or not. Often I don't. Well, I shouldn't say that. I do, but I'm not going out for the biggest fish. Put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we're the same. It's kind of like, how do you remember when you first become obsessed with the ocean, eh? It's like, for as long as we can remember. So I guess the next thing is kind of hone in on your spearfishing journey, but have we got this right that you actually developed the Octacle product as you were a free diver before you actually got into that comp? I think your friend talked you into a spearfishing competition that you were helping sponsor, and that's when you actually started spearfishing. Was that right?
Yeah. So I've been kind of I've been diving for power and muscles and just collecting, harvesting and foraging since about 2018-19 with my mate Joel, who is actually coming tonight. He's from Northland. He used to live here, and I used to go out in my surf wetsuit, and it wasn't until I started going out with him diving that I realized that there were these specialized wetsuits that divers would wear, because they were warmer and had hoods, and you wore gloves and booties and stuff. Anyway, he convinced me that it was a good idea to go and get one of these wetsuits. So off I went. I got one of these wetsuits and discovered that to get into them, you needed to soap up. That's what people say. Got to soap up to get in.
Yeah. Very different to surfing, eh? Like
exactly. Like it's just foamy.
Plastic bag.
Like we're both surfers of a kind, and like it's the same thing. You have the plastic bag that you slip your feet into, and on it goes. And like anyone you talk to that doesn't spearfish or dive just thinks it's so weird.
Yeah.
That
you're
like lubing up your suit.
Exactly.
I remember Laura going and trying on wetsuits at Weddy, and sorry, she's looking at me real like, what the hell? But she texted me, she's like, I didn't know I had to get wet to try this on. And I was like, yeah, girl, get lubed up.
See, this is exactly what happened to me. I was in the shop trying on the suit and over a bucket, standing in one of those trugs, foaming up, thinking, I don't want to be foamy and covered in soap going into the ocean. It doesn't feel like I'm connected to the ocean, or when I get out, I feel like I've got to shower or get rid of that soap. It just didn't sit right with me. And when I looked around, there wasn't really any other option but soap or shampoo or I've come across lots of people's other options over the last few years. Some people have used Lynx body wash, which I can't even fathom how horrible that must be. But, conditioners and all that kind of thing. So I thought, well, I'd look into something more natural. And that's where originally Slinky was born. It used to be called Slinky before I launched
Slinky?
I know, yeah. Before I launched it to market. But it had a bit of a rebrand just before I launched to Octacle, and you now know what Octacle is. Yeah,
we've got a heap of detailed questions for you about Octacle, actually, because we're really interested in just some different things about it that we know only you will probably be able to answer.
Yeah.
We can roll into those, but I guess we just want to kind of to establish for anyone who it's quite cool hearing that you've gone about your water ocean journey quite differently, and then actually Octacle led you to spearfishing, which I think is quite an interesting part of your story, and that you do talk a lot about foraging and stuff just as much, like gathering food, like you say, not necessarily talking about spearfishing. But would you classify yourself like as a spearo as such?
It was never... Spearfishing was never really on my radar until I did start doing more diving with like I said, Joel and a few others. It wasn't ever kind of my goal to become a spearo. And even now, yes, I can spearfish, and I suppose I am technically a spearer. I've heard that name bandied around, which is
Yeah, Spira.
interesting. Am I a huntress? I don't know. Underwater
Badass
harvester.
levels.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to title myself. But yeah, the whole getting a spear gun story was a bit of a funny one because I'd launched Octacle and this comp came up in the Sounds Summer Slam, and I thought, that would be a really cool event to get behind because it's very much about sustainability, you know, and it was a point system. It wasn't about the biggest fish and the most you could get or anything like that. And I really wanted to back more events and comps like that. And I thought, well, I don't know how to spearfish, so maybe I'll sponsor some other people to do it, you know. And I rang my cousin Jess, who's she's a diver from way back, and I was like, oh, could you enter this comp, and I'll sponsor you, and you know, blah blah blah. And she's like, no, you're going to be my dive buddy. Why don't you go get yourself a spear gun? I was like, oh, I hadn't really thought about doing that. Yeah, all right. So, I went and got a spear gun.
So it was market research.
Yeah.
Sounds like it was market research for you. Like, right, if I'm going to launch this to the masses of spearfishing people, I better go and see what it's all about. I like that.
Yeah.
It sounds awesome too. Just being like, nah, you're doing it. Like, you go.
Well, it turned into a really awesome experience, actually, because initially it was just going to be me and Jess, and then the more we talked about it, we ended up with a whole boat of women. There was 4 teams of women joining this event, and it turned into a real wild weekend. Yeah.
I heard you had some pretty interesting names for those teams, actually. I don't know why I remember this, but I think it's because they were a little amusing. Can you remember any of them?
Yeah, well, Jess and I were the Octopussies. So
Octopussies, yeah, that's the one I remember.
That was named after the
great quality.
Yeah. Then we had the slippery fins and wet wahine.
Nice.
A couple of others as well.
Yeah, that's our kind of humour.
Yeah. When you were diving with Jess, did you see things in her that you were like, this is awesome, this is how I love diving with a buddy? Like, what is your ideal dive buddy? What are things that you look for in a dive bud?
So far out, the best kind of dive buddy is relaxed and confident and fun, right? I mean, it's really important to me to go out and enjoy the experience, and being relaxed doing it is a really big part of that. I mean, being relaxed for a start is essential, because you can't you're in there, you got to be, you're diving down, you don't want to be using oxygen, you want to feel good, right? So being with somebody who you can do that with is massively essential, I reckon. Someone you can also pull the pin on, right, and say, I'm not feeling good about this, or there's something that's not right, and I think we should call it a day, and know that you're not going to get, yelled at for or whatever. You want to your mates, right?
Lisa's had to look after me being seasick quite a few times, and it's embarrassing, but at least you know that person's like looking after you and understand, all right, this person needs to chill down a bit right now.
Yeah.
I noticed recently you've been on a dive. I don't know how to pronounce your name. It might be Elena or Alina, but you've been on a recent dive in Wellies with your friend, and I think you guys got some like blue mochi and paua and
yeah. So she's an ideal, perfect dive buddy. We always have a lot of fun together. You know, we're quite well matched in our experience. I say that she's a weapon. She is amazing. She's shot some incredible fish. But, we get in there. We've got a good kind of we got good comms. You don't have to necessarily talk. You can use hand motions and just know. I don't know. It's like an intuitive way of communicating. With each other.
Totally.
I can't really describe it, and I think that's also that's also something that is important in a dive buddy, and I get that with Joel, and I've got, a couple of mates like Sebastian and Josh actually from Souls Untapped. You might have seen some of his stuff online.
Oh, yeah, we've heard of him. We haven't met him, but, yeah, we've watched a lot of his YouTubes, and he used to work commercial diving with some of our friends in Coromandel, actually, so they've talked about him quite a bit.
Yeah. So he's another ideal dive buddy. He's coming back in December. Yay, Josh. We have a lot of fun.
Yay.
Cool.
Yeah. So he comes to the summer.
We might have to get him on here then.
Yeah, do it. Yeah. Man, it was cold the other day. Oof. I think it was only about...
That was going to be my next question. Like, I lived in Wellies, but I never dived there. But we've dived in Wellington twice. End of last year, I think it was in December, we went to a comp. And we went diving out by Lyell Bay and Macra and a few other places. And then we did the Nationals in February.
Yeah.
And man...
It was in Cardiff.
It was cold in November. What temperature are you hitting in July?
In July, well, at the moment it's about 11 degrees, if that. And when you get deep, it's less. But it does get up to 18 degrees or so, depending on where you are.
Quite balmy in Wellington is what you're saying, like quite a tropical location.
Yeah.
But you guys get pawa and big butterfish and moki, so it must be worth it.
Oh, it's amazing. We're so lucky here. And it's lush.
I was quite surprised. I was quite surprised with the dive conditions in Wellington. Like, I thought it would be quite. I just thought with the temperate waters it would be a little more barren. But man, the fish life goes off.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Yeah, it's really amazing, and the seaweed is just. It's beautiful, and when you dive up north, I notice that just how sparse that is. And you come back down to Wellington, and it's just all the colours. It's beautiful. Love it. Yeah, and we've always got some vibe, really. The coastline's pretty big, and if there's a northerly, you got the south. If there's a southerly, you got the north. You get chocolate milk harbour every now and then, and it takes a couple of tides to clean up. But pretty good diving here, I reckon.
Resilient divers seem to come out of Wellington. There's still some really competitive divers that come to all the comps and stuff that we've met, and they do seem to be very resilient, so it makes sense. But when you talk about seaweed, that kind of takes us on to our next little section of things we're interested in asking you, because we know you're a forager, and it's interesting you say that there's more seaweed in Wellington, because I didn't actually even think about that till now. But we know you're also involved in seaweed restoration, so tell us a little bit about seaweed. For a couple of years now, I've been working with Love Remeremu, which is a local organisation based here in Wellington. They've been going for a few years, and their whole jam is restoration and regeneration of our kelp forests. So Wellington is about as far north as kelp will grow because of the temperature of the water. You don't tend to get it that far north, further up north. Anyway, Love Remeremu are all about looking at what we've got here at the moment, and also spawning babies to replant out as well. So there's a big monitoring program that happens here, which, if people are interested in getting involved with, they should definitely check out the website. Maybe we could put a link up with your podcast or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's such a great organisation, and it's attached to the Mountains to Sea lot as well. So they do a lot of education with kids at school, and they do snorkel days during the summer, not during the winter. So people can get out there and actually see what's under the water, connect people in with what they can't see, There's a lot happening down there, and when you're only looking at it from the surface, you don't see it, right? So that's
definitely. Even when you see it from above and you dive down through the little tunnels, and there's even like its own little system happening underneath it as well, which is pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, and you've got octopus, and you've got all the little bait fish come by, and we've got a big reserve here, and it is so lush. There's lots of crayfish, heaps of power, massive powers, lots of fish. So it's a really great place to go and actually experience what it can be like. I can't say it's like by the side of the reserve, but at least that's the reserve.
No, yeah, that's really interesting because I'm definitely very uneducated in the seaweed things, but being a teacher, I do think it's really important. Like, it's quite cool even just considering that, students from, say, a particular area in Wellington can actually learn about the environment of that particular place because, it's so different in so many different areas of New Zealand alone.
Yeah.
Elise does some education sessions each week with kids and stuff as well, and I think that's why we becoming more and more interested in, spending, you can be an ocean lover, but to spend more and more time being concerned basically about it not staying that way. And I think, it's really awesome that people out there are doing what you're doing and being a part of it and caring about what's going on under there rather than just enjoying it.
And also, I think just even, by harvesting and foraging seaweeds, you really start noticing more the different varieties that are down there, how they grow together, and then you really start kind of connecting in with the synergies of how each one interacts with each other, and you just notice things on a whole different level, and then of course you've got the fish that come in and the different seasons of the different fish and how that relates to the seaweed as well. You're not just down there looking for food power and because a lot of people do just tend to go and get a feed and then they're out, which is understandable, but I think it's a really nice way to be a little bit more particular about what you're looking at down there. I reckon.
Yeah, I think I heard you discussing online somewhere about that you actually do eat some of the seaweed as well, and that you're really careful about how you take it and where you take it from and how much. And I find that quite interesting. How do you prepare seaweed to eat it?
We can actually eat all of our seaweeds in New Zealand. Some of them aren't as nice as others, but it depends on what you've harvested. So there's, say, Neptune's necklace. Everyone knows what those little poppers, they're like little long bead-looking seaweeds, right? You can pickle those. You can pickle them like capers, and they're amazing. There's lots of recipes for pickling things online. It's probably the easiest way to sort of guide you to that. But yeah, that's a good one.
Is it red seaweed that I think I read somewhere online on your content that you often use?
The karingo is a red seaweed. But actually, a lot of the ones that we eat or that I like to eat are the brown seaweeds. So you've got karingo, you've got wakame is a brown seaweed, and the kelps, they're all a brown seaweed.
And pumped full of iodine, is that correct? Like, they're really good.
Yeah. So they've all got really awesome nutrients and minerals in them that our soils in New Zealand in particular aren't that rich in some of iodine in particular. So it's a good way to access those kinds of those minerals and micronutrients. My favourite is to dry the karingo and the wakame and blitz it up in a what do you call it? A spice chopper or whatever, into tiny pieces, and then toast some sesame seeds and then put it on everything. Literally, I love it.
Yum. So just walking us through it, I haven't collected seaweed before. If you're talking to a complete beginner on that side of things, besides from when I was a kid eating the Neptune beads and popping them in my mouth, when you go to collect it, how do you know which ones are the correct ones to collect, and how do you crash course for beginners? What do I do? Can we just go down and pick things off, or I guess how do I know what I'm collecting, and when I do collect it, what do I do with it?
There's a few pretty cool guides that you can get if you want to have a reference guide, visual reference guide. There's a couple of really good books that you can access as well. But like I say, there's no seaweed you can't eat. It's just whether or not you like the texture or the taste or the feel. So,
So there's
you know,
there's no poisonous ones or anything like
no,
that.
no, there's none.
That's good.
Not in New Zealand, no. But also, if you go down and harvest some seaweed, the general rule as well with foraging is that you're not going to go and clear a rock of all its seaweed, right? You take a little bit from a few different places, and you always leave twice as much left for nature or the next person. I mean, whatever it is you're harvesting or foraging. And when you do pinch it off the rock, you leave the holdfast so that it can grow back. And there's a bit of information on my Instagram profile around that kind of thing as well.
Okay.
And I think I might put more of that kind of thing up. It seems like people are really interested in that side of things.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely.
Yeah. But we are looking into some other, we're looking at all sorts of things actually. There's a few ideas in the pipeline and some product development underway. So, watch the space. Yeah, should be some other exciting looby things happening, and I've been listening to the feedback people have got around how they like to use it, and from what I've found, everybody there's no easy way to say it. Everybody uses lube differently.
Yes, they do.
So, some people make it real thick and put it on their feet before they put their suit on. Some people make it quite thin and swash it around inside their suit and then make a bit of a mess getting it on. I mean, it really depends how you like to do it.
Kat, when I first tried Octacle, this was before I knew anything about it. I went and bought myself one of the tubs from Ocean Hunter and showed up to dive training, and it all came in a powder, and I was like, this is weird. I'm pretty sure the first time I tried it, I just kind of took the lid off and shook some dust into my wetsuit and then put the water in afterwards. I've now found that's actually not the way. So how do you use your product? Would you like to tell us a bit about it for complete noobs like myself at the time?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's an instruction bit on the back about how to mix it, but
but I don't read, so
people don't.
I love reading, but I was just very excited to get straight into it.
Yeah, and it's actually like writing instructions is a bit of an art. Oh my gosh, it took a while to figure out how to even fit it on a label, but yeah, and that's kind of a standard thing that people do. They just open it up and go, it's powder. But the reason I did that, having tested it out with a lot of people, was that because people use it so differently, right? And you can mix it how you like and how thick you like and how thin you like. But also I didn't like the idea of initially of having a water-based, like a water product that it was going to be heavier, and if shipping, we'd have to ship the water content, and as soon as you add water to something, you've got to think about preservatives, so that added ingredients. And so there was a bit of a reason why we did powder in the first place. But actually, a gel concentrate is definitely on the cards, so that'll limit that problem. But
yeah, I thought it was quite interesting though, because there's a lot of new products like shampoos and conditioners and stuff that are actually going towards the powder now. Like it seems to be quite a big movement in like beauty products and all sorts of things. And I kind of thought maybe it was more just the ones that have, like you say, got less crap in them. And, shelf life and stuff. So I actually think it's a really good thing that it's powdered because, like you're saying, you've probably talked about numerous times to people, that whole slippery, sloppy mess that you get on the boats when there's like 5 or 6, often dudes too, just squirting ridiculous amounts of like conditioner or aqueous cream or, dishwashing liquid and stuff. I'd never really thought about it until Elise told me about your product. And it was kind of like, how can, it just was one of those things where if this is one of the things we can do to put less crap in the ocean and less stuff on our skin, it seems a pretty no-brainer move.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, and that's an interesting point, the boat situation, because that's a perfect example of where you really notice the foam or like the oil slick from whatever it is people have chosen to use, and even the smell. Someone might have a really perfumey option there, and you're like, oh, and it's all ending up in the ocean, and that to me is not that's not something I feel comfortable about, and
And
then
can
again,
fish
like
smell us as well? Like if you're being a sneaky sparrow and you smell like lavender, like is that a thing? Like, in hunting.
lynx.
Yeah, Lynx Africa.
Yeah.
Oh, that one's coming for me.
I got advice when I started to not wear perfume actually for that exact reason. I don't know if it's true, but I guess it's another good reason to smell like seaweed instead.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't actually smell, which is something else people have asked me about too. Oh, does it smell? It doesn't. It smells a little bit like the sea,
Yeah.
but it doesn't smell like seaweed. So that's a bonus. But yeah, you're right about the fish and hunting and smell. I mean, I can't say that I've read any kind of you know research that backs it up, but it makes sense to me that if you're out there snooping on stuff and they're down tide from you or down current, surely they can smell that stuff. The high fragrance detergents and stuff. So yeah, there's that. But I mean, what I recommend people do is just add a couple of teaspoons to some cold water in a bottle.
Yeah.
And the biggest key is to have an agitation space. Like people have protein powders and stuff, right? You mix it up, you've got a shaker, and that's how you mix powder into water. So that's all you do with Octacle. You just put a couple of teaspoons into some cold water, shake it up hard, and shake it for a good 10 seconds. And that allows it all to incorporate into the water. And as soon as it starts hitting the water, it starts to swell and get lubricated. It gets all that jelly kind of thing going on. So that's also why it's not great to add to hot water straight away, because it just instantly will clump. So that's why I've said on the yeah.
Winter diving, I went diving on the weekend and it's obviously pretty cold at the moment. And we often use the warm water off the back of the boat motor to like chuck in your suit so your suit's not so cold. So that's actually a good point to know. Don't add warm water or hot water to the powder. Okay.
Well, it's only so what I suggest to people is, and this is what I do now in this awesome freezing cold weather, is I mix it quite thick with the cold water, and then I top it up with hot water.
Nice.
That's fine. It's just the initial when the powder hits the water, it needs to be cold water. But there's no reason why you can't add hot water to that. So yeah, you can have it hot too. Hot lube. Awesome.
Hot lube.
So get it wet, it'll get slippery, you can make it hot. All right, got it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And I know you talked to some of the Sparrow Hangout guys. Is one of the episodes we listened to research you actually. Good bunch of dudes. We haven't met yet, but they also do an awesome podcast. And I figured because you're talking to dudes, like you guys kind of glazed over some of the women's health benefits, but I'm just going to say it. Ever since listening to that, I cannot stop thinking about the fact that the lube I had been using on my suit is just mixing in my lady bits for 6 or 7 hours.
Yep.
Gross.
Yeah.
The answer to that. Yep.
Yeah. And you know what? I actually have quite a few women contact me about that, especially in the beginning when I was asking for people to test things out and getting some info about how people, found using lube and stuff. And it's a really, really common issue for women. So, yeah, it can really knock your biome out of whack.
I've never had any issues.
Around in there.
Never had any issues, but it's just like hearing you explain it made me be like, man, that's a very good point. Like just thinking about even, like you're saying your whole body isn't, I forget the right scientific terms, but your skin is an organ, so it's like a no-brainer. Yeah. We're weighing on ourselves, most of us, some of us. Elise likes to have her little she-wee thing, but weighing on yourself and chucking all the stuff over your skin.
That. Yeah, I think I emailed you. I think I messaged you once about it. So I like to flush the wheeze out of my wetsuit by use of now specifically Flexi Shiwi, and I'm sure there's
Yeah.
many others on AliExpress that are more like silicone, which would be a lot more comfortable again. But I haven't tested them all. And then just added like a pisset or um, a scupper to like the
Yeah.
same spot.
Same as the men's one.
Same
I
as the
mean, even that's
men's.
better than a massive zip, right? Some of them are
Exactly.
massive
The
zip.
idea of zipping myself up was just too terrifying. So I decided
Yeah.
to go the other way around and get a scupper. And then actually with the flexi one, you can just roll it up, tuck it into your wetsuit. It's just when you get off the boat and everyone's kind of just looking at it and you're looking at them and then you realize what they're looking at and you're like, oh.
Yeah, but the men, sorry guys, but we see it all. Like
They
we
let
see the
theirs hang out
scuppers hanging
too.
out.
I have no issue with the boys seeing that. I just don't like the idea of a piece of plastic rammed up against me while I'm swimming around for a few hours. So I just pee on myself like a lady. So
Yeah. Well, there's got to be a way somehow to find a happy medium, right? But
Yeah. The
the
research.
Octacle actually acts as a little bit of a barrier with the Wii as well, which is good, and doesn't mess with the pH. So and back to what you're saying about having all that flushing around everywhere. I mean, our skin is an organ, and we've got what's called an acid mantle, and that's the protective layer that we have on our skin. The oils and things. And so when you're using detergents and shampoos that have what we call surfactants in them, they're designed to break down those oils. That's what they're used for, to clean stuff, right? And so if you've got that on your skin for, I mean, even half an hour, but like up to 12 hours sometimes when you're doing a comp or whatever, it's just taking all that oil out of your skin, and that's when you can get skin infections and the spots, the dreaded spots that people talk about, pimples and rashes. And that's all from that acid mantle and the being broken down by the detergents and stuff in your skin, on your skin. Not to mention your wetsuit drying out and, the ocean not really enjoying it either. So why don't we do it?
Yeah, totally.
it's awesome too that it has aloe vera in it. That sold it to me more because, being able to put it on you and actually get a benefit for your skin during it rather than just negative things coming out of it. It's really cool. You've obviously worked really hard to develop it and think about all that kind of stuff. And yeah.
It's pretty fun actually. Like it kind of got born over COVID, lockdowns and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it was quite a funny scene in my house, really, just playing around with all sorts of different things, and like a scene from Breaking Bad,
I was like, your son said that, didn't he?
Yeah.
I can picture it actually with you saying that. Little bottles everywhere.
Powder. Yeah, so that was pretty fun. Yeah.
So, Kat, how often do we need to be like disinfecting the suits and like afterwards? And like what kind of products would you recommend to like disinfect them with if it is needed as often with Octacle?
From what I have found from asking people's experience with all this, I found that with Octacle you don't tend to get a stinky suit like you do with detergents and stuff. And I think it's got a lot to do with that.
The anti-goat.
The anti-goat. That's a good one. I like that. Yeah, because you're not sloughing all the cells off your skin with all the detergent and stuff, and that's not going into all the holes of your wetsuit and that, And when you do wash your wetsuit after a dive with Octacle, it all comes off. It's water based. So it doesn't leave a residue on your wetsuit. It doesn't go into all the holes. It doesn't stay in all the holes like, say, a conditioner would. And the oils and the aqueous creams can actually clog up your wetsuit. And then that can cause bacterial blooms and all that sort of stuff. So when that happens, you get the stinky suit and you need to disinfect your suit and all that kind of stuff. I recommend just soaking it in a bath with a cap full of Dettol and giving it a couple of hours just soaked in a bit of Dettol and then rinse it. and then fresh air. Just dry it in some fresh air out of the sun. Yeah, that's all I do.
We know that you've kind of boomed in the couple of years that you've been making this too. I think I researched that you're selling your product in like Lithuania, Australia, the UK, New Zealand, like Adreno's stocking you, Ocean Hunter, like it's obviously spreading far and wide.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Yeah, so we're available in quite a few countries now. Yeah, Lithuania. So he's kind of our European stepping stone, which has been really cool. Definitely check out his website as well. It'd be cool to link to his Instinct as his little setup. He sells a lot of wetsuits.
Is that like a Sparrow shop or something in Lithuania?
Yeah,
Instinct.
yeah,
cool.
Instinct. Yeah,
that's so cool.
And he has a lot to do with like the freediving comps over there as well. So, I mean, there are a lot of different kinds of wetsuits, and not all freedivers use open cell wetsuits, but a lot of them still do. So it's not all about the Sparrows, but there's a lot of freedivers who use lube too. So we've backed quite a few of the freediving comps over the years. I mean, it's been 3 years now since we launched. And yeah, so we're in Australia and all the Adreno stores, and there's a couple of other dive stores. It's all listed on the website under stockists. So if you are in a different country and you want to try Octacle, there's no reason why you can't. There's usually a store nearish you, or if not, then we can send you some. Spearfishing UK, they're really awesome supporters of Octacle. And we've got some really great ambassadors over in the UK and up in Shetlands. Thank you, Josh.
There you go.
Souls Untapped. Yeah, that's one of my destinations I want to go, actually, is the Shetland Islands.
That'd be pretty awesome there. Seen some good videos of the Shetlands.
And if you don't want to fully commit to buying a whole tub, even though you definitely should, you can get little sample pots. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we've got little sample tins, and they make a good 2 litres. Yeah, if you make it the way that it says on the instructions.
Which I did this time around. So I read them.
Gives you a good idea of how to work for you. And we're also going to be doing a refill option coming up. They have got refill options at Spearfishing UK. So if you want to just go in and, buy half a tin, you can do that. Or more if you want to get a massive tin.
That is such a good idea.
You can take your old tin in. Yeah.
I love that.
Take your old tin in and get it refilled.
And in person in New Zealand, you can, I've seen it physically in Ocean Hunter, just in terms of a lot of our listeners at the moment are from New Zealand. But will you also be at the upcoming New Zealand Boatfish Dive Show as well?
I will be there. I won't be there on a booth, but I will be coming up to check out what's happening around the place. So, be good to come and see you guys. I hear you're going to be there.
We will be. So I was just going to say, even if you're just wandering around, we'll be telling people about your powder.
Awesome, my lube.
Your lube. One of your close friends might have thrown you under the bus here, but they told us to ask you a specific question about your powder Octacle samples. They said that you might have a story about people carrying Octacle samples through airport security.
Yeah. Oh, funny. Oh, I know who that is. Oh, classic. Yeah. Well, back in the first few weeks, I suppose, months of starting Octacle, I was getting people to sample it, to give me feedback. And the best way that I found to do that was to put it in little snap lock bags. So you just had like a little one dose, So putting white powder in a little snap lock bag looked pretty dodgy. I did put a little label on them, but sometimes the label would come off.
There's a label. This is not drugs.
Yeah. not drugs. It's not drugs. And this one particular person who I won't name who it is because people will know who he is. He had a whole bunch of them in his pocket after being down here for a course, and yeah, he went through customs and emptied his pockets, and all
Oh, that's
these
so good.
little bags of white powder came out of his pockets. Looked a bit sheepish. Yeah,
Realized what he
that
had
was
done. He's like,
funny.
oh no.
I promise, man, it's just my
Yeah,
lube
yeah.
for my suit.
Yeah, yeah, it's just lube. It's just lube. Okay, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll find them in the office. I'll be like, oh, what's that? Oh, propane. Oh, yeah, sweet. It's just some lube.
That's
Back
so
from them.
good.
Yeah,
Oh, funny.
that's some good stories. Good stories from back then.
This is a great story. And hey, I noticed too that you've been like quite heavily involved with some of. I know you mentioned the UK being one of your stockists, but you've been quite involved in like the women's taster weekends and stuff that they've been running in the UK. Yeah.
Yeah, so Katie from Huntress and Home, she's also her other handle is the Oyster Lady.
Oh, yeah,
Amazing
yeah, I know who
woman.
you mean.
Oh man, yeah, and she's done a couple of podcasts too. Highly recommend you all like check her out and what she's up to.
We've been stalking her,
Such
so yeah, cool. We'll double
yeah,
stalk her.
double stalker, yeah, for sure. So she organised this women's Spiro Day. And it was the first one in the UK that's ever been done. And yeah, so I got behind her, helping her support that. And I actually intended to go over and be there for it as well. And we had lots of ideas that we wanted to explore. It just didn't work out that I could get over there, unfortunately, because it would have been a good opportunity to go up and dive the Shetlands after that. Another
Sounds
year.
convenient, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, oh, where could I go as well? But yeah, what an incredible event that was, and it really got women out there to give it a go, And Spearfishing UK got behind it, and there were a couple of other really big sponsors too. And it's not that you don't want to encourage men to do it. It's just that it is a very male-dominated sport, and sometimes women just it's nice to provide that sort of supportive environment with other women to introduce you to things like that. Yeah, so without
for
wanting to
sure.
be exclusive, it's kind of just enabling women and empowering them to be able to come along without having any prior knowledge, or if they do, great as well. It's just doing it together, having
A girl
fun
that
doing
we
it.
chat to online a little bit, she's a podcaster as well, Abigail, she went to it, and she's normally like a hunter. And yeah, she went along and got her first fish and shot a wrasse and everything. And yeah, what Huntress and Home and you guys are all doing over there looks really cool. And we have some pretty cool initiatives in New Zealand, as like Salt Aotearoa and stuff like that. But I think
Yeah.
the more women stuff there is, the better. And we'd be really keen to, maybe, I don't know, be involved in some stuff ourselves and things like that as well. But it's cool to see when other people
Yeah.
overseas are doing things. And yeah, especially when there's like local products like yours that can be in the mix.
Yeah, we've got quite a good group here in Wellington. So a mate of mine, Juanita, she's been heavily involved with starting up the Wahine hunters here in Wellington, and we have a great time. We go out and we do like overnight missions. We'll go over the Wairarapa and just all sharing our skills and knowledge with each other, and we do courses and things together as well. It's been a really great supportive network of women, yeah, highly recommend getting amongst it if you can. And if you don't know, to anyone listening, if you don't know if there's anything around, just hop online and have a search, and get amongst the community somehow.
Yeah, there's a couple of Facebook groups for New Zealand women sparrows, and like you say, different areas, like literally chuck in the words of where you live and sparrows or spearfishing, and there's usually a group that comes up on Instagram. It's pretty awesome that the online communities can link up people and find people buddies, and yeah,
Yeah, totally.
it's a good vibe that's growing.
Yeah, all about that. And as well, it's not just about the spearing of fish. And what I'm really passionate about is the sharing of the knowledge of how to fossick and harvest the other stuff too, connect in with it all. Yeah.
Well, I guess I think of like connection to people as being like a well-being thing, and I can tell from the way like you've answered your questions that the people that you dive with and spend time with are really, an impact on your ocean time. But what would you say like diving does for your well-being if you had to kind of summarize it?
Oh, well, it's like meditation in a way. For me, if I don't get in the ocean enough, I really notice it in a quite a unique way. Like there's something about being in the ocean for my soul that I really need, and it quietens my mind. You're out there just trying to be present and not thinking about all those other things that you do, cooking dinner, all that sort of stuff. It's being really present and in the water, connected with the planet. And I just find that so grounding. It's easy to get kind of lost in everyday activities and life, and the hustle and bustle, but getting in the water kind of washes it all away and allows you to just be still. And yeah, I don't know. There's a it's probably not a very summarized answer, but
No, it's beautifully
there's a
put.
start.
We're both sitting here nodding because we totally agree with you. That's I couldn't have put it better ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's definitely something like, and especially people that do find that time in the ocean. Um, like, I don't know, I feel like it's just a special kind of people that
Mm,
that love it, and you kind of can relate to them pretty easily because you're just like, ah, these are my people, you know?
get it. Yeah, yeah. And even if it's cold, sometimes it's actually nicer. That dive I did the other day with Alina, I was like, oh man, you're looking at it freezing and your feet are cold and you haven't even got in the water yet, but you get in and it just all goes away. You're there and it's just so refreshing and awesome. Doesn't matter that it's 11 degrees, really.
At the
Actually,
time.
it did a bit.
At the time. Now, when you think about it, though, you're like, yeah, I could get back in that easy. No worries.
I would go as far as saying that it's not just a some people thing, that if every human spent more time connected to the ocean and nature, that they would all benefit from it in their
Oh,
well-being sense. So,
100%. 100% agree with that, sure. Even just being in the forest, walking through the bush and yeah, just allowing the space. Mm,
Yeah, definitely. Couldn't agree more with you there. Um,
yeah.
do you have, this is kind of like one of our, like, I guess, things that we do every week. Do you have a Do you have a Dear Diary entry for us? A special day that you can recall that is just like a highlight of you in the water diving?
Oh God, there's lots that I'd like to, but I'm gonna tell you about when I first hit um, going over 20 meters deep. It was just the most incredible day, an amazing feeling. I was actually up with the Salt crew, with Benny and Renee and Vance and all that,
oh
and
man, I
we
didn't realize you'd met them. With my stalking
yeah,
online, I had not figured this out yet.
yeah. I've dived with Benny a fair bit, well, not a fair bit, but quite a few times, but and
Yeah,
Renee and
so
all
have
that.
we. She's an awesome human. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Actually, I've got a funny story about our dive here at Millington with Benny.
I would love to
Um,
hear that as well, just so you know. We're putting that on the podcast. There you go.
next. I'll tell you about that next. So yeah, this was a couple of years ago now. I was up in Kaiwi, and I couldn't get past that 15-meter mark. I was like, oh, I was getting so frustrated, and Benny was like coaching me through the whole. It's a mind game, right? And I just couldn't. I couldn't relax enough to get all of that stuff. My head was just like, oh. And then finally, somehow I managed to get down there, and it was such a funny experience because I was like watching the rope. It was very, very much up and down the rope situation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, breathing up, relax, 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 gotta relax, which is kind of ironic, isn't it? Because you're like stressing about relaxing.
Yeah.
You're like holding on to the flow.
Stressing about relaxing,
okay. I'm
eh?
gonna get so relaxed. I'm gonna go real deep. Anyway, so I started diving down and watching the rope go past, and then doing all the things, and then I just completely stopped and relaxed, and I could feel myself falling and watching the rope going past me. I'm like, wow, this is just the most incredible feeling. And it kind of reminded me of snowboarding, actually, like on powder, that feeling of no sound but a slight sound, but you just feel like you're flying. And there's I can't even describe it in any other way. And I kind of went into this amazing euphoric state, not like hypoxic, but just an amazing state.
Like
and
a
then
flow?
all of a sudden, oh, hey,
Do you mean kind of like a flow? Like that flow state?
definitely a flow, absolutely a flow state. But then all of a sudden, the bottom plate went flying past my face. I was like, "Oh shit! Oh, there's the bottom plate. Oh, there's the bottom of the lake." And then I had to turn around real quick, but I was just falling. I was like,
Yeah.
"This is incredible! Wow!" And I will never ever forget that day. Never forget that feeling. And then turning around and looking up and go, "Oh my God, I'm going to get back up again."
Yeah, that's quite far away sometimes, hey, and you're like, oh, I've definitely got down here, but my God, going back up. And then at that point, having to tell yourself even more to relax at that point.
Yeah, exactly. And then the last 15 meters before the top, well, not 15, it must have been about 10 meters actually. Just allowing yourself to pop up and use that buoyancy,
Yeah.
When I came out, I was just like, I'm so stoked.
That's so cool. I bet all the girls are cheering you on the surface as well.
Oh, it was so cool. Yeah, it was really cool.
Oh, amazing.
So that was probably my best Dear Diary entry for now. But yeah, Benny, she was in Wellington. Oh, she won't mind me telling you this. She came to Wellington a couple of months ago. It was still summer, I think. Well, it was the end of summer. Anyway, we went out, me and Juanita and a couple of others, to a spot, and it looked pretty milky, like it wasn't looking great. And we're like, no, we'll get in there. It's probably got a clear layer underneath, So we went out and we couldn't see a thing. And it was such a hard slog of a dive. We got out and I was thinking, oh God, Benny's come down from this beautiful clear water of Northland with all this amazing fish underneath, just taking her out in this milky mess of this horrible day.
Yeah.
But it was super fun, you still enjoy it, right? You get wet, you have a good time, and so it didn't matter, but
no.
Yeah,
I'm sure I'm sure she's had plenty of experience with blue water recently, hey. After that.
Yeah.
Going from the milky waters of Wellington to Europe summer, gee, that must have been a bit of a change. Well, I mean, that's an enjoyable flashback for you, but do you have, if you could pick sort of like the funniest yarn you have from diving, does one pop to mind other than that time?
Yeah. I think probably the funniest and craziest dives I've had have been the Summer Slam comps. Every year something happens. But I remember the first year that we did it, when we had the whole boat full of women. We'd been out all day. It was about 10 hours, I think, we'd been out, and we'd come back in. We'd cracked a few beers by then, having a bit of a fun time.
Of course.
We intercepted, post dive beers.
Post dive.
Post dive, and we intercepted a stag do on the water in one of the sounds. And it was so funny. Like somehow we ended up with an inflatable mannequin,
amazing,
who ended up being a mascot for the rest of the comp. And he went all sorts of places that weekend, I tell you. And then there's the stag do ended up coming and crashing some of our barbecue, and it just turned into a pretty wild weekend. But it was so much fun, you know. It was like swallows and Amazons,
That's so
sort of
good.
stealing
How did this mannequin come
from the
about?
back of the boat.
And what kind of
I don't
mannequin?
know. I don't know
what
why
was he dressed as? Is it an inflatable
Well,
mannequin?
nothing.
Just
There's
wondering
nothing on.
for a friend.
Yeah, what was he wearing?
was
What
an
was the mannequin
inflatable-
wearing?
Nothing. I don't know why a stag do had an inflatable
You think that
mannequin.
I mean, no judgment, that might, sweet as. But yeah, not what you do
We
picture for a
thought,
stag
we can
do.
have him. Yeah, because he was inflatable. He kept on ending up off the side of the boat, so we had to do a couple of emergency rescues on him.
Mm.
That was quite fun. Yeah, Jen got really good.
I feel like some of the rest of the story is probably like an after dark edition. You can keep those.
It sort of ended up being a daytime Spiro and then not nighttime hunting, but we kind of had that dusk hunting thing that we were staying at a mate's place out in the Sounds, and yeah, it was wild weekend. It was cool, and the mannequin came with us everywhere.
Love that. The mascot for Crazy
The
Weekend.
mascot.
Is the mascot still around somewhere?
He is.
I feel like you
He's
should pull him out
deflated
every now and
somewhere. We'll find
Anytime
him
he's feeling a
in
little
the cupboard.
deflated, you can, just get him out again.
Yeah. We gave him a name. I can't remember what his name was though. It was like Kevin or Wayne or something like that. I can't remember.
All I can think about now is and I wasn't going to mention it, we can always cut this out. All I can think about now is an article that came up today of a sex doll being found. I think it was in New Plymouth. Someone was walking their dog on the beach and it literally looked so lifelike that the woman had to call the police. And that is all I can think about now that you've mentioned this blow up man. So
Yeah, wow.
horrific.
He was pretty lifelike. He was life size, definitely. But
All right.
yeah, it was
Hey,
yeah, it was crazy times.
I can probably have a guess at what your biggest ick is on the boat or out diving. We've got a bit of a new segment where we talk about like what's your biggest ick or what's the most annoying thing that you find when you're out diving. Like some people were like, lines all over the boat. Laura's been pestering me about my box. My dive box.
Context. There's some context there.
My dive box. Is there anything in particular that you're just like, or that you find, or even like could be afterwards, people not filleting their fish, or don't want to give you too many ideas, but anything that particularly gives you a bit of an ick?
Just nailed a few. The ick. Well, I mean, I think the standing around with the scuppers hanging out thing is a bit ick, but I get
I've tried telling Elise. I've tried telling her.
I just look at her in the eye and make her the weird one.
I don't have too many icks on boats generally. I think it's probably the whole turning up with heaps of gear thing is a bit of a pet peeve, There's always someone that's got to have heaps of stuff and there's no room for anyone else. That's kind of an etiquette thing, right? I don't know. That sounds really pedantic now I said that. But,
No, you've heard it many times. And Laura was about to jump in and be like, it sounds like you can leave your box at home, Elise. Anyway, it's
No, we've got quite a few that we tease each other about, but we just think it's interesting to ask other people theirs. And I'd say probably without you realising it, that it does, one of your icks was probably people, squirting a bunch of dishwashing liquid into the ocean.
Yeah, that was my guess
Well,
too.
yeah. That was what I was going to say is the foam. And actually, I was out the coast the other day, rocked up to the car park, and there was a huge pile of foam in the car park. I was like, man, there's not even a person here anymore. And they've left this huge pile of foam.
It's weird,
and it's just going to end up in the way.
Anytime you see the aftermath of like divers getting dressed and there's just all these little weird puddles around them. Like, what happened here?
Yeah. Must be weird for people who don't dive, who don't understand it. Be like,
Yeah,
what's going
yeah,
on?
totally.
Yeah. But yeah, that's probably my main ones, to be honest. Yeah. Pretty easy going.
If you could, yeah, no, that's good. I guess when you own a boat, like you'd probably be way more pedantic about things. I'm sure I will be one day when I get my own little boaty boat. But this one, I think Laura's going to ask.
Well, usually we ask people from sort of a spearfishing angle, like what their favourite fish to hunt is. But because you're a forager, we'll open the question up a bit wider. What is your favourite, like, kaimoana to collect from the ocean?
I am a really big power fan.
Oh, yeah. Jealous. We're
Yeah, I
jealous
would
of your
take,
access.
yeah, you guys don't get any up here, eh? It's
Some people have
a bit
secret
sparse,
patches.
but yeah.
We don't have a secret patch access,
Mm,
though.
yeah, and I mean it can get a bit sparse down here too, but yeah, I'd go a power over crayfish. I know that's a bit controversial for a lot of people, but
Oh, no, it's all personal
yeah.
preference. Do you have like a special way that you prepare it? I mean, if you get a lot of it, you're probably pretty good
I've
at
got
preparing it.
lots of ways. Yeah, I like mincing it up and then mixing it with some pork mince and putting it in dumplings.
Oh, that
Really like
sounds
Thai
mean.
style
Pork mince dumplings and
dumplings.
power.
Yeah, that's good. You can basically put mince power in anything that you would use mince for. I get quite experimental. Made pork and power cannelloni once. That was
Oh,
really delicious
that sounds
and a little bit
awesome.
different. Yeah, yeah, and just slicing it and frying it. Love that. Oh, cream power. Oh, yum. Good. Cream power pies. Love that. I'm just starting to experiment with hua because
Cool.
I've kind of
That's the inside of
yeah
the
the
power,
hua.
eh? Like kind of like the roe, is that right?
It is the roe, yeah. And some people will just bite it off and suck it out, straight out of the ocean.
Huh.
Um, I'm not quite ready for that. I've got to kind of ease into it. And now I've had a few people give some feedback as to how they do it. I'm going to start giving it a go because, yeah, I hate wasting anything, and I know that it's a really awesome part of the power, but it's a bit, it's not as easy to deal with in my
Hmm.
mind as the rest of it. So yeah, that's my next frontier, I suppose, when it comes to power.
I like it.
But fish wise, I love moki and kahawai. Kahawai are real fun to shoot underwater.
Oh my
A decent
goodness.
sized kahawai's got a good fight.
Yeah, I do love a good kahawai
Mm,
fight.
My nemesis, they evaded me
mm.
again on the weekend. I lost 4. They came off.
Oh,
We
Oh,
had
Laura.
words with fish.
Oh, Laura.
yeah. They're so muscly, You shoot one and it feels like it's 10 times the size of,
Hmm.
of what you've got.
Well, they can
Amazes
get pretty
me.
chunky. I've definitely seen like, you know, big schools of them where you're like almost questioning whether they're kingy sometimes, because they're just, when they first come in, I'm like, wait, wait, wait,
Mm.
wait. No, that's just a really big kahawai um, group. So yeah, I mean, they definitely can be big ones.
And chunky.
But yes, delicious,
They're quite
delicious.
funny to watch under the water as well because a couple of times school has gone past me, kind of like, they buzz you almost like
Mm,
come straight past you. And if you just wait, they come back.
they do. They do
They
often
just
come
come
back, don't
a
they?
big circle.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh, did you come back? Sweet. I'll pop one of you now. Thanks very much. So, and they're really hard well, I found anyway, they're like really hard to kill. They just seem to never die.
Well, yeah, they have got a big, thick head for sure. Like, there's a website where you can it has X-rays of the fish as well and shows exactly where the brain is. So it can show you where to icky it exactly. And it shows you on different species of fish from like all over the world as well. It's quite cool. I'll put the link into the notes as well for this episode. But yeah, it's quite an interesting one. Um,
That's
if you could go back, this will just end on this question. If you could go back and give yourself a hot tip for when you started spearfishing, what would that be?
Slow down, chill out. Like it's not it's really exciting when you start spearfishing and you just like the adrenaline, comes up real quick. And I guess that's a reaction though as well. But, the keen bean thing comes on hard when you start spearfishing, I reckon. So I'd go back and just
This
say,
is true.
chill out. Yeah.
Leather jackets have never been so unsafe.
Yeah. Yeah. Slow down. That would be my thing for sure. And don't eat so much before you go out. I don't know if you guys ever did that.
Yeah.
I've learned that lesson. I got seasick a lot when I started, and I learned very quickly that too much food is not a good idea.
We could do a whole episode on Laura's seasickness, actually. It's only just recently started getting under control. Okay, maybe not. She had a couple dives that was all right. Well, it's been such a pleasure chatting to you. I'd love to get together and go for a dive with you sometimes if you're ever up north or if we're down south. Would love to get out of the water.
Right on.
Yeah.
For sure.
Keen for some seaweed foraging, to be honest. And some of your parlour recipes, now that you've explained some of those sound EM. But,
no worries. I'll put some more up on my Instagram.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And hopefully we'll see you, like you said, hopefully we'll see you wandering around at the New Zealand Boatfish Dive Show at the end of this month and can see you in real life.
Yeah, look out for the Octacle logo on my hoodie or something. I'll be there. And,
you'll probably hear us first, so
that's true.
But no, honestly, thanks so much for being our first Zoom online guest as well. A little bit of patience from you tonight with us trying to get that sorted. So no, we appreciate you being understanding and helping us sort that one out.
Oh, good. Anytime. Thanks, guys. Really cool talking to you.
Yeah, you too. Appreciate you coming on.
Wow, we really enjoyed getting to know Kat. She's a super cool chick and we hope we can delve into more slippery wet chats with her again soon.
If you're keen to claim some goodies from us at Spiro Diaries podcast, we are lucky enough to be supported by a few epic, legendary brands, including Victory Knives, Witty, Diver Mon Art, Icy Tech and Dive Our Fins. We're going to have a special prize draw, as you know, for the attendees of the New Zealand Boatfish Dive Expo. So if you haven't had a chance to either send us a comment on Spotify about a particular episode or follow us on our socials, Facebook and Instagram, please do so you know more about those.
And as always, if you like this chat, please share it with a Spiro mate.
So thanks for filling your ear holes, and until next time, toodles!
Toodles!